I know this has changed into basically a new truck driver channel, but in this video, because you guys have been asking for it, I'm gonna talk about my experience so far at Landstar, as well as the problems with the trailer and if and how they got solved. So stick around. So like I said, you know, the channel has essentially turned into a new truck driver channel, and that's for algorithm reasons, so on and so forth. There's going to be some changes coming up, as well as that new vlog channel that I've been talking about, but it's actually, it is happening and it is coming out. It'll be out in roughly 2 weeks, and you can see on my trailer, I've got one coil. That coil weighs 52,290 pounds, and of course, I'm vlogging this one, so that one's going to be interesting, so I can't wait for that. You guys stick around and keep an eye out, because you'll know on this channel when that new vlog channel drops. But I love that I was able to grab this load, because this load was a true test for the trailer. So I got in contact with Reitnouer, and they told me that, I'm gonna give you the short version, they told me that to go ahead and bring the trailer in. Essentially, they thought that the trailer was actually twisted, and that would have been a major, major problem. Thankfully, that wasn't the case. So there's a 3-inch arch on the bottom deck of my trailer, and essentially what happened was the arch, it went flat on the passenger side, and throughout the alignment, was causing my tires to rub and essentially popping tires. So, you know, it's been about 6 weeks or so, and I've ran some light loads, a little bit heavier loads, and then I've got this load on. And this load, I've traveled about 600 miles so far, and so far so good. It's done extremely, extremely well. And as a matter of fact, it's hard to see, and even if I were to put the camera on it, but it's might not even be quite flat, might be a little bit of an arch left, but it's definitely not sagging. And that was the thing that scared me the most. So, you know, I think the problem has been solved, but one thing that I want to touch on is the customer service at Reitnouer it was just off the charts. You know, the first morning when they were looking at it, I went ahead and I sent them an email and I said, hey, look, you know, if there's anything that I'm going to have to come out of pocket with, you need to let me know, because I'm not interested in dropping $10,000 to $12,000 at this point in time. And so, you know, their response was, don't worry, anything that we do on this trailer, it's covered. You don't have to worry about it. And I thought, okay, cool. And one of the things that I definitely want to point out here is it absolutely has nothing to do with the fact that I'm a YouTuber. Anybody that buys a Reitnouer trailer, and while it's still under warranty, which is 5 years, including the lights, it's all going to be covered. They're going to take care of you no matter what. And really, it's a no questions asked type of thing. And I was absolutely blown away by that. You know, of course, we fixed the trailer. They had to pull the axles off, and then they put it on their bending machine. There's two puppies over here. They're really, really cute. They had to pull the axles off and put it on their bending machine and actually rebend it. Then what they did is they replaced some of the 3/8 bolts with actually 3/4 inch bolts. So these bolts are huge, and they're, you know, he told me that there's no way that trailer is ever gonna lose the arch again. So I felt pretty good about that. That's all they really had to do. Here's what else they did. They also replaced the mud flap that had been torn off. They fixed the rub rail on that side, which was, it had a bunch of dings, bunch of dents, and they fixed almost the entirety of the thing, all of it but one little piece, literally like 3 inches. And they did that. They replaced another piece that was, it's kind of aesthetic. I mean, I guess it works for the airflow, but really it's just an aesthetic piece, and they replaced that. They also, on the way out, they gave me 9 lights that to include a few of the 2.5 round lights, a turn signal light, and some lights for the back of the trailer. So they went above and beyond what they actually, I guess, I wouldn't even say needed to do, but maybe even felt like they needed to do. I felt very, very well taken care of. I couldn't catch any footage while I was there because they have government contracts, and there's no cameras allowed inside the facilities. So that was a bit of a bummer. But one thing also that I want to point out is they don't advertise. Their advertisement is word of mouth. So that's the only advertisement that they take care of. And, you know, here, case in point right here. You know, they're certainly not sponsoring this video. They didn't ask me to make this video. I told them I will be making this video, and because I want all you guys to know that if you're considering buying a Reitnouer in the future, it's worth it. And you guys have been asking for it, and now moving on to Landstar. I'm not gonna go too in depth with this whole Landstar. It's not gonna be like a full-blown Landstar review. I just want you guys to kind of know how it's been for me and, you know, what my thoughts are. I've been at Landstar for a little bit over 6 months, I believe, and I've been doing really well. I haven't ran any loads that I was like ashamed of the price. So, you know, and a lot of the direct freight, which they have a lot of the direct freight pays extremely well. And I'm talking very well. I've ran a forklift that went 600 miles that paid like $2,200 to the truck. That was months ago. You know, there's a lot of different things like that. And, you know, I also, what I really appreciate is the amount of oversized freight that there seems to be and seems to, for me to be able to get my hands on. That's the biggest benefit to me, because like I said, or you guys don't know, but in one of the vlogs, I'm talking about how that's kind of the direction that I'm wanting to go. I'm wanting to go heavy haul. And, you know, the only way to get into that is to kind of progress through the career. And you have to start small. You know, you have to start out with things that are just barely oversized and then move into the bigger, badder, and ugly. And, you know, I highly recommend that you don't just kind of dive into heavy haul. You need to have flatbed experience. And I know that I'm on my soapbox here a little bit, but you know, you've got to have that experience. You've got to be able to tie down these regular size loads first, make sure you can do that properly before you move into something that is extremely overweight or huge, hanging off the sides, or tall. If you hit something that's over height, well, you're no longer insurable, period. So your trucking career is over. You know, these things you have to keep in mind. So it's a progression. When you're looking at heavy haul, it's a progression. And there's a ton of freight that I can certainly progress through, feel comfortable about, and, you know, kind of progress my career along. So I'm making really good money. I'm able to get in and out of the house. That was something that I wasn't able to do with Mercer. I did a little bit better on the spot market, but not as well or as good as I would have liked. And now my focus has changed a little bit to where I'm kind of targeting oversized loads. So, you know, it's different. I don't necessarily, I can't compare apples to apples, so I don't want to do that. It's not a fair comparison. What I will say is, if I were to have the knowledge that I have now before I bought my truck, I can tell you I would have came straight to Landstar. I wouldn't have gone anywhere else. I would have come straight here, and I'm sure that I would probably still be here. They have a lot of agents that have really big freight, and I'm talking freight that can go on super loads, or super trailers I should say, but they would be considered super loads. And that would eventually be the goal. I mean, unless something crazy happens with YouTube and, you know, I skyrocket and you know, this kind of takes off, you know, maybe plans will change. I mean, always be malleable. Don't get stuck, kind of go with the flow of the universe here. But, you know, as far as the foreseeable future, that's what I see in my future. I see myself moving towards heavy haul. Wish I had bought a triple axle, but it is what it is. I don't have one, so I kind of, you know, make do with what I have. And, you know, yeah, there's probably going to be a truck purchase at some point within the next, I would say, year and a half. And as far as trailers and stuff like that, well, you'll just have to you'll have to stay tuned for that, because I don't even know. So, but, you know, I hope that answers at least some of you guys' questions. As far as getting into how much I'm making per mile on every load, etc., I'm not going to be putting that out, because I'm running a lot of direct freight. And if I put direct freight numbers out there, then it's going to upset some people here at Landstar, as well as that's going to give kind of the competition, a leg up. They're going to know what's going on. They probably already know, so it's probably a moot point anyway, but still, I'm not going to be responsible for that. And the same thing, when I was at Mercer, I couldn't post the Mercer load board on YouTube, so I'm treating the same respect with Landstar's load board. I can't put that out there, so I'm not going to be putting out there customer names, actual freight. I mean, I may review something like, for instance, that forklift. I did that months ago. I don't mind telling you guys something that I did months ago, but you don't know who the customer was, where I started, and where I went to. So, I want to keep that anonymity. Is that the right word? I guess so. I want to keep, basically the private information private. So I'm not going to be putting a lot of that out there. Am I enjoying Landstar? Yes, absolutely. Do I recommend it? Absolutely. If you're not lazy. If you're lazy, I actually don't recommend Landstar because this is about as close as you can get to running your own authority without actually doing so. There's still some coddling, there's still some micromanaging there, but as far as, me being with those 3 different companies, or so far the 3 different companies that I've been with since I've owned my truck and trailer, this is as close as it gets to actually having your own authority. It's still not there. There's still a lot more that's involved with doing that. But anyway, hope you enjoyed all of that. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe down below, ring that notification bell so you know when everything's coming out. My new truck driver videos, my vlogs on the new channel. Keep an eye out for those. I mean, you're gonna be well informed. I'm really excited about that. I know other people that are also excited about that, so can't wait for that. But as always, stay driven. Now moving on to Landstar. Ooh, excuse me. These dogs are staring at me and it's throwing me off. And something over here I'm very allergic to. It's not the dogs. Oh my goodness. Ha! I hope I can make it through the rest of this video. Whew.